Generally speaking, I don't really like flashbacks in sitcoms, but that doesn't seem to be the case with Kirstie. There are a few flashbacks, and this is what we get with the ninth episode, When They Met. This is taking place on the night that the Tony nominations are revealed. And one thing leads to another. I won't say exactly how, but Frank does something to betray her. Nothing too severe, but he betrays Maddie, and Maddie starts to get a little bit upset about this, and they all end up around the kitchen table telling the story about how Maddie and Frank first met, and they realise that they actually have a much more detailed and emotional history than first meets the eye. But it actually takes us to what Maddie was doing when she met Thelma, first of all, and she was actually working in a cookie store run by Thelma, and she was called Brenda at the time, not Maddie, and Thelma definitely looked quite different. There probably is some controversy around her wearing a fat suit, around Rhea Perlman wearing a fat suit, but personally, it doesn't faze me. It doesn't faze me at all, but I know some people may have a problem with that, so it's something that I wanted to bring up, just as a point of potential concern. But I've not read anything specifically negative about this episode. But they're talking about Maddie's time there, and the work she was doing, or the work she was meant to be doing. And Thelma and Maddie went to a bank, and that's where they met Frank. And I won't say any more than that. I won't say what Frank's role was or how they met, but what happens and how that flashback it finishes, how it ends, is really beautiful and really well done, and something I wasn't expecting the first time I watched this. And I thought it was really sweet, and it had comedic moments throughout to keep the tone of the episode up, but it was very moving, and how Arlo fitted into that I thought was very sweet as well. Definitely a really lovely narrative, and I actually rather liked it. There's also a beautiful speech in this that Maddie gives right at the end. I guess this is a tiny spoiler for what happens with the Tony nominations, but she gives a speech right at the end about what's really important, and that having a Tony nomination is obviously a great thing to celebrate, but it's more important that you're able to celebrate having family and friends around you and people to share life with. And it was so moving and really emotive. The whole episode was a perfect blend of comedy and emotional scenes. I really liked it. Brilliant costumes as always. And that's something that's really stood out to me with Kirstie. The costumes are incredible. When They Met is, as I've said with every other episode, an absolute delight and an episode that I really thoroughly enjoyed.